Leo, someone at work said something today that landed differently than it should have. Maybe it was a comment from a colleague, an offhand remark from someone who supervises you, or a message you are still turning over in your mind. There is a reason it is sitting with you longer than it normally would. Something in you wants to respond in a way that feels bold, maybe even a little disruptive to how things are usually done around you. And here is the strange part. The same energy that makes you want to speak up boldly at work is also making your words unusually persuasive today, almost effortlessly so. Those two things are connected, and by the end of this, you will understand exactly how. The bigger picture. There are two major currents running through your sky right now, and they are pulling in slightly different directions, which is exactly why today can feel layered rather than simple. The first is a slower, deeper one. From an evolutionary astrology lens, Chiron, the wounded healer, has been moving through your success and status zone, the part of your chart tied to career standing, authority figures, and your reputation among peers. This is not a one-day influence. It is a cycle building toward 2027, and it is already timing a kind of confidence that feels almost unfamiliar to you, a willingness to challenge how things have always been done with colleagues, employers, professors, or the people you work alongside without pay. What you are considering right now may look confrontational to people who prefer things to stay conventional. That is not a flaw in the plan. That is often exactly the point. The second current is faster and lighter. In Western tropical astrology, Mercury is currently in Leo, sitting in your first house of self, and it is forming a sextile to Venus, who is positioned in your third house of communication. Sextile is a supportive, easy-flowing aspect, and this particular one gives your voice real magnetism today. Your natural tone carries warmth, timing, and a kind of charm that does not feel forced. This is the kind of energy that makes introductions land, pitches get heard, and difficult conversations soften without losing their point. Now here is where it gets interesting. The moon is also passing through Leo today, and in the Vedic or sidereal tradition, a moon transiting one's own sign often brings a mixed emotional undertone. Moments of real confidence shadowed by small tensions that surface unexpectedly. So while your voice is charming and your ambition is stirring, your emotional weather underneath might be a little less steady than it appears on the surface. That contrast, bold outer energy paired with a more delicate inner state, is the real story of your day. There is also something worth noting from an older lineage. In Hellenistic astrology, the sun is Leo's ruling planet, and a day chart favors solar placements, meaning your natural drive for recognition and leadership is not incidental today. It is structurally supported. That is part of why the Chiron work in your career house feels less like risk-taking and more like alignment, even when it feels uncomfortable. Love. Here is an unresolved question worth sitting with for a moment. If your words are this magnetic today, does that mean the connection feels real, or does it mean you are simply persuasive right now? That same Mercury-Venus sextile does not stop at the office. It follows you into personal conversations too, and it can make you unusually convincing when you are expressing affection, curiosity, or interest in someone. If you are in a relationship, this is a strong window for repair conversations, warm check-ins, or finally saying the thing you have been holding back. Your delivery has grace right now, so honesty tends to land softer than usual. If you are single, this energy may show up as a flattering exchange, an invitation, or someone responding to your presence with more interest than you expected. But there is a catch worth watching closely. That same charm can tempt you to promise more than you can realistically follow through on, an offer to call, a plan you are not fully sure you will keep, a compliment stretched slightly past what you mean. The moon's mixed passage through your sign adds to this. You might feel emotionally warm on the surface, while something quieter and more uncertain moves underneath. The resolution is not complicated, though. Keep your promises smaller today. A specific time, a genuine compliment, a follow-through you can actually deliver. These carry more weight than a grand gesture. Confidence draws someone in. Reliability is what keeps them there once the initial spark settles. Career. What starts as a communication advantage in your personal life turns out to matter even more in your professional one, especially given what is building in your career house right now. The Chiron cycle moving through your status zone has been quietly preparing you for a moment like today, one where your usual charm is not just about being liked, it is about being taken seriously while proposing something that challenges convention. Maybe you want to restructure how your team operates. Maybe you want to push back on a policy a professor or supervisor treats as untouchable. Maybe you simply want credit for work that has gone unacknowledged. Whatever it is, this is the kind of moment that can quietly redefine what people expect from you, and in your own way, redefine what is considered normal in your workplace or field going forward. The Mercury-Venus sextile is what makes the delivery possible. Before sending that pitch or stepping into that meeting, read your message out loud first. You will likely catch an unclear phrase or a buried point you did not realize was hiding in plain sight. Open with the line that makes people lean in immediately, and save the background explanation for after you have earned their attention. If you are negotiating anything today, whether it is a raise, a deadline, or a change in responsibility, lead with warmth and let your reasoning support it quietly from underneath, rather than leading with the argument itself. Money. That same boldness in your career conversations tends to bleed into how you think about money today, and this is where a little discipline goes a long way. Financial matters look generally positive right now, but the temptation to take a risk you would not normally take is real, especially with your confidence running this high. The mixed undertone from the moon's passage suggests this is not the day for a major leap, even though it might feel tempting in the moment. A promising opportunity connected to your work may be approaching, and patience here matters more than urgency. Let the confident, persuasive version of you show up in negotiations and proposals, but let the more grounded, patient version of you make the final financial decision. Health. Here is the part of today that is easy to miss if you are focused only on ambition and conversations, but it matters more than it seems. If you have been carrying some form of loss recently, whether that is the end of something significant, a disappointment, or simply exhaustion you have not named yet, today is asking you to give that its due attention rather than pushing past it in favor of career momentum. The psychological layer of today's chart is not about external achievement at all. It is about whether you are actually taking care of the body and emotional state that everything else depends on. This is where the mixed lunar undertone becomes useful information rather than just a mood. That undercurrent of tension you might feel is not random. It is a signal to slow down, choose nourishing food over convenience, and avoid habits that numb rather than restore. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras, for individuals whose birth charts indicate a need for that kind of support, but this is not universal advice. And gemstone prescription in Vedic astrology requires a full personal chart analysis rather than a blanket recommendation. What is universally safe, though, is simply choosing rest, patience, and gentleness with yourself today. The same patience Leo is being asked to apply in every other area right now. Home and family. The same courtesy that serves you well in professional and health matters becomes essential at home today too, particularly with people you are closest to. Given the emotional undercurrent moving through your sign, small disagreements at home can escalate faster than they normally would if you are not careful. The wiser move is to pick your battles rather than insist on being right in every moment. It is not about avoiding honesty. It is about recognizing that today, being courteous with someone you love matters more than winning a point. If a family conversation feels tense, that Mercury-Venus warmth can actually help here too. softening a delivery without diluting the truth of what you need to say. Travel and spirit. If you find yourself needing a break today, even a short one, follow that instinct. There is a kind of quiet clarity available when you step outside your usual routine, even briefly, a walk, a change of scenery, a few minutes away from screens and obligations. Think of today's chart like a bridge under construction. The bold, confident architecture is visible and exciting, but the foundation underneath, your emotional and physical well-being, is still being reinforced. Spiritually, this is a good day for quiet reflection rather than big declarations. A moment to notice what you are actually feeling beneath the confidence everyone else sees. Lucky signs. The hours between 11 in the morning and noon carry a particularly favorable charge for you today. So if there is a conversation, decision, or request you have been sitting on, that window is worth considering. Yellow stands out as your supportive color today, aligning naturally with the solar energy running through your sign. People carrying warm, communicative energy, especially those who share your directness, tend to be the easiest to connect with right now. Today's guidance. By now, the shape of today should feel clearer. Your voice has real pull, your ambition has real backing, and your emotional undercurrent is asking for a little more patience than usual. None of these cancel each other out. They are all part of the same story, one where boldness and gentleness are meant to work together rather than compete. So here is the practical version. Say the confident thing, but make sure it is something you actually mean. Pitch the idea, but read it aloud first. Make the promise, but keep it small enough to keep. Rest when your body asks for it, even if your ambition says keep going. That comment from earlier, the one that has been sitting with you, might actually be less about what someone else said and more about what it revealed you are ready to say yourself. That is usually how these days work for Leo. The real shift is not loud. It is just honest, and it is already begun.